Sanbonani. Yeah, thank you so much once again. Nis Joyne. It's another episode, The Journey Within podcast with Dukwezwa Mtembu, brought to you in partnership with the experts themselves, which is Igayise Media. And ngihlala ngithi bayifake la phansi. And ngibonile kulama video amanye ngikhomba into engekho lapha ngithi details are at the bottom of your screen. But you can check them out kuma YouTube, benza ama weddings, birthdays, anything that needs photography and videography. It is Kayise Media, Kamala Mukwezwa Kamthembu. And again, this one is our 4th episode. Thank you so much for the support. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as well. Sizame nje ukuthi sikhulise lento. And today, I do have the Maverick.
Here we go again.
It is. We call him Mr. Dayo, and I've been meaning to ask him what his name means actually, because it is Ekundayo. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
You are spot
or is
on.
it Ekundayo?
Ekundayo.
Ekundayo. Yeah. What does it mean?
Ekundayo.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, tears turn to joy.
Tears turn to joy.
Yes.
Beautiful. And that's one thing you have to appreciate about African names. They always carry a huge meaning behind.
Yes.
Yeah.
In my culture, they say you name the child based on the events that happen in the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. But once again, thank you so much for borrowing us your time. I think I, for one, amongst other people, know how terribly busy you are. I was even panicking a bit when we were running a bit late. That if we miss today, I don't know when I'm gonna catch
I
you.
also didn't know. I couldn't say, but I think the ancestors blessed us, and we are here. Thank you for having me. In my language, it is ekaro ekason, which is good afternoon.
Okay, is that now Yoruba?
That's Yoruba, and remember the Sutus and Twanas have borrowed me, so it's Dumela as well.
And I see you, and in our conversations, I see you like quite a bit of Sutu. Is there anything that influenced that, or is it just the language that you?
Let's say I'm speaking Sutu and Twana legally because I've been legally married now for just over 15 years.
Yeah.
So I want a choice.
Yeah.
Ki mkonyan.
Yeah. Yeah. I think maybe before we delve into quite a lot, because there's something that I've just been mind blown by and been looking out for in the news, and I know you have your own opinions about it as well. The Trump tariffs.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you like bad news first.
Yeah, no,
so you want us
just want
to
to
get rid of the bad news, and then we go, capish?
Yeah, because I
Alright.
think it will help a lot of people. Because I see, it's either people are not really interested in it, or they don't fully understand exactly what do those tariffs mean.
I
In
think
as much as we are not as ignorant as most of the Americans, because I've seen a lot of comments from the Americans that they're quite ignorant about what Trump is doing and how much damage it can actually cause.
first of all, Trump is getting away because you have more than 50% of the American population
Yeah.
that have not left their state, let alone left America. Despite the fact that their passport allows them to go anywhere in the world. The Americans that you see traveling probably cumulatively will be about 20 to 30% of the population.
Of the whole population.
The Native Americans don't travel, just as guilty as charged as average South African.
Yeah.
You guys also don't travel.
We don't
So-
even travel in Mpumalanga.
I know.
I've
I've met a lot of people called Sibani Setu that don't even know Ermelo.
Yeah. It's like our neighbors.
Exactly. So I think to put a bit of a light on that issue, based on the fact that, well, unfortunately for me, it's something I'm interested in because I'll consider myself sort of international,
Yeah.
and it affects me directly or indirectly because. Look, to your basic HP laptop, your basic Lenovo tablet, your iPhones and your Samsungs, they're all going to suffer from the tariff increase because at some point the production and all of that remains the same. But now the trade factor, the value chain, moving whatever your product is to where the consumer is going to have to use it
Yeah.
is affected by Trump. And he thinks America can survive in isolation. He's got something else to think about. South Africa, I mean, America is not a country that's very vast in natural resources.
Yeah, definitely.
To start with, I mean, they've got the biggest amount of oil reserves in the world, and
Yeah.
that's because they're bullies. They've gone and taken as much oil from all the oil-producing countries.
Yeah.
And stored it. Same thing with their gold reserves.
Yeah.
They're actually a custodian of gold for the rest of the world. So they say they have the largest gold reserves, but let's call a spade a spade. They're actually landlords to the gold. People are renting America to keep their gold.
And they actually wanted to bully Ukraine out of their resources.
I know, and I'm happy what
with the guys of
I'm happy what
negotiating.
Vladimir said. I'm not going to mention his surname, but I'm happy.
yeah.
I'm happy what he did to stand up for his country.
Yeah.
And to say, look, I'm not just raw meat here. I've been processed. I've been marinated. I've gone through something.
Yeah.
So going back to the tariffs quickly, you can't you can't say you're a landlord, sit in your house and say tenants all of a sudden, everybody on ground floor, I'm increasing by 20%. Everybody on first floor, I'm increasing by
And you're increasing
20.
it
And you're
tomorrow.
increasing it based on floors, because now if you put the countries in stratification, he's increasing the most with countries he considers his enemies. Not even American enemies.
Yeah.
His enemies. And giving a subtle leeway for the countries that he knows is benefiting from the most.
And I'm just wondering who's I know who his advisors are, but I'm wondering what are they advising him on, because they even put tariffs on an uninhabited land that only has penguins on it.
Let's just say this. Trump has advisors.
Yeah. But
He has a lot of advisors. Does he listen to the advice?
Yeah,
That's another story.
Yeah.
So tariffs basically, for the layman to understand, is basically I'm bringing you milli meal from Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Please take it to the taxi rank and drop it at Embalentle. If the taxi fare to Embalentle is 50 rand,
Yeah.
to transport milli meal, I'm charging you 10 rand. Now, Trump wants to start charging an extra 5 rand on top of that 10 rand to bring the milli meal from Park Station to Embalentle.
Yeah.
Taxi rank. Now, he's doing that because where now you're from, maybe for instance, Houghton.
Yeah.
And then the people from Soweto, he's charging them 2 rand for the same milli meal.
Yeah.
The people from Santon, he's saying, milli meal is 10 rand, I'm charging you 10 rand. You understand?
I
So,
get it.
so his tariffs do not have a coherent fixed price or nature to it. It's very segregated. It's very directed towards favoritism, defragmented. If I have to use a little bit of grammar, I want to try and say in a language that people will understand. So he's playing the favoritism card, which is next to what you call racism. Trump is a selective racist.
Yeah.
He is selective in the sense that he loves Kanye West, but he can't stand the average black person. You understand what I mean? So when it favors him, when it's in his favor, he's racist. Now, let's watch the space. Our brother, our South African brother, Elon Musk.
Yeah. Does he even still consider
They're friends now. They are friends now.
Yeah.
Wait till such a time when Elon Musk is not giving Trump what he wants, one, or Elon Musk is trying to take power away from Trump, two. He's deported how many people?
Yo.
Elon is next. Watch the space.
But then and then bringing it back home.
Yes.
Because I think sometimes Mzansi, there's certain things that we need to like maybe just shut down the country for, take to the streets and just be serious about. And I have to say I was a bit disappointed with regards to indlela ezivele sathula ngayo when they wanted to, or rather when they proposed an increase when it comes to the VAT, because I feel that has a lot of dire implications considering ukuthi economy yethu already like things are already expensive.
Yes.
And I'm not really understanding. I don't know if it's ignorance or we just don't care about such things. Because as I'm saying, I'm not inciting violence or anything, but those are
Yes.
things whereby we're supposed to be like, but guys, come on, where do you think we're gonna get this extra 2% from?
Okay. As far as I have it, I think it's 0.5%. That's the order of the day in the
Yeah.
end.
Initially, I think they proposed
They
proposed
proposed
two,
three, no,
three.
three, then
Yeah.
went to two, and then it started filtering down.
Yeah.
But my brother, you are not increasing salaries. You are not providing a structure that will allow people to earn more income.
Yeah.
You are not attacking the process of collection of revenue as a
Yeah.
government as you should. There are a lot of people in this country that are getting away from using government resources and not paying for it.
Yeah.
Squatter camps all over the show. Is there any meter in any of those squatter camps?
Nah.
You have not cut waste where waste is. Water pipes are busting all over. You've not increased productivity to a point that there are no potholes. Potholes are everywhere. I mean, we're in Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
Many potholes.
That,
Tire prices have gone up. I'm sure you felt it.
that-
I did.
we all do.
I did. These days, hey, bruh, you
Yeah.
reduce your speed not because of the traffic cops.
No.
It's
we're
the
just
potholes.
Checking out for the potholes.
It's the potholes. So traffic cops are also complaining because they
Yeah.
can't find people anymore. People are not speeding.
Yeah.
You see, so the economy itself is going in a spiral. It's everything is related to one source of lack of management skills or negligence in maintenance or the other. And the government, unfortunately, they're short-sighted, they're myopic if they have to think about trying to increase the amount of revenue they are getting without increasing productivity, without improving infrastructure.
Or even accountability within the government.
Look at the N17, for instance. How many people complained when the toll gate went up? Not much, but we know our N17 is serving us.
Yeah.
It's our bridge to the big city. The potholes are almost non-existent since we stopped diverting through Leandra. Nobody has complained.
There by Mdaria.
You understand? I mean, so some of us have earned the right of knowing that we came to this town when we still saw donkey carts go Leandra. You understand?
Even
So,
Petali's well.
you see?
Yeah.
So, and I still can say I'm fortunate enough to have seen this town develop, our beautiful
transform,
smoke city. It has transformed.
Yeah.
And Abuti Lolo is doing a good job. Free marketing for him, by the way.
Yeah.
He's putting Secunda on the map.
Yeah.
Is Metro FM, you're proud that you're listening to Metro FM, and Thibaut Touch is permanently talking about Secunda.
Yeah.
So we need you to be the next ambassador for Secunda.
Yeah,
you know?
no.
Little things like that go a long
More
way.
like ambassador of
Yes.
Mbappe before the
So back to the point, you are a government. You are trying to increase rent, but the services are declining.
Yes.
As a tenant, because we are all tenants if we live in this country.
Yeah.
As a tenant, how would you feel? I want electricity.
Yeah.
I want water, constant water supply. Everybody has a JoJo tank now because we
And-
know what's happening.
And you have to make a plan with
You
your
have to make
refuse
you have
as
to make a
well.
plan with everything.
Yeah.
From potholes to electricity to water, school fees is increasing, all of that, and then you now say to me, I must pay more for my milli milk. I must pay more for my bread.
But now-
Albany, I
But
know.
now, but now, where's the uproar? Like, have they beaten us down to submission or what? Because for me, I think that's the biggest concern. Like, why are we not up in arms or angry or pushing back?
Okay, let's take a step back.
Yeah.
How many success stories have we had from Toy Toys
Yes.
since the 2000s, apart from the eras of Steve Biko and the rest? How many success stories? People back for a day or two,
Yeah.
and everybody filters down and go. And the government knows this.
I honestly ended up being against Toy Toy
It's not effective.
because of what I would see in Desert Education, which is
It's not effective.
yeah,
I mean,
knowledge.
the last time our brothers and sisters in Embalentle went and burnt their municipality down, who suffered?
we suffered.
How many people had to come from Ember Mall to start buying millies in
Yes.
Secunda?
Yes.
People suffered. So there was a uproar not too long ago, and they said there was going to be Toy Toy. And it ended up there by the four-way stop. Nobody touched any structure
no.
because everybody now, in the back of their minds, they have it. We are the ones that are going to suffer first.
Yes.
So Toy Toy has lost its plot.
Yeah.
What we should be doing more creatively is You want to cripple the economy. You want to make the government feel the impact. Go and attack production.
Yeah.
I'm not teaching people what to do. But go
But
and
yeah,
attack.
we
The
just-
value chain is there. We call it a value chain for a reason.
Yeah.
It produces value from raw materials to finished products.
Yeah.
Somewhere along those lines, if the government feels the heat and they are not able to pay their ministers, they are not able to buy the expensive blue light cars, they are not able to do certain things effectively,
Yeah.
there will be changes. Changes will come, but if you are toying, but that minister is still going home in his 7 Series
And
with a
still
blue light
earning
car,
his salary.
living in a Santin apartment with
Yeah.
8 bodyguards,
Nothing changes.
nothing will change.
Actu-
Nothing. I'm not teaching
Yeah.
average South Africans, but
Yeah, no, but we just-
let's flatline it.
Yeah.
Kenyans had the most effective Oprah not too long ago.
Yeah.
They disciplined their government. In little or no time, changes were made.
And even you've got the likes of Burkina Faso as well.
We have,
So,
I think one of my favorite presidents now is
Yeah.
Traore.
Yeah, no, that's
Traore
my
is
guy.
pro-Africa.
Yeah.
I saw a breakdown of the most effective presidents in Africa not too long ago, and I don't know who put our dear brother SpongeBob ahead ahead of Nigerian president. The
Yeah.
Nigerian president is not as effective. You know, if we look across the board, we know the government structures that are not working.
Yeah.
They're not functioning. My home country, they are suffering.
Yeah.
They created a name for the president, T-Pain. T-Pain, because it's causing pain for the people.
Terrible pain.
You understand?
Yeah.
And this guy recently had a change in government.
Yeah.
He signed a document, flew to France to say he's going to. Imagine a president that goes to a French country from an English country to go get health care after changing cabinet overnight.
Yes.
The next morning he wakes up in France watching them from a distance. Can you imagine?
So even if the country burns down, he's far removed.
This is
from
what
it.
I'm saying. So
Yeah.
leadership is very comfortable
Yeah.
in Africa. I'm not generalizing.
Yeah.
I'm not fine tuning to.
No, but I
South
know.
Africa.
I think we all.
It's an
We are all
African
aware
problem.
that we have that problem.
And the moment we all start thinking out of the box and saying we are not recycling our leaders,
Yeah.
the sooner we know this, the better.
The more we move forward.
The better.
Speaking of Nigeria, you are originally from there.
Yes, my brother.
Even if some of us know you good, you are from here.
My father named
Yeah.
me well. My father named me well, and the name is stuck. So
When did you move to this side?
I actually started my journey. I'll call it my journey in the wilderness
Yeah.
in 2004.
Oh, that was the first
That
time
was
you
when
came
I
this side.
first came here,
Yeah.
and my first hometown in South Africa was Bloemfontein.
Oh, okay.
I,
Oh, no wonder you always
Yes,
tell me.
that's
you
why.
vibe. Oh, okay.
That's why Kinder did die.
Yeah.
I came here to study
Yeah.
because same government problems we had in 2001, 2002, 2003. Most of my medical school classmates,
Yeah.
we were meant to study medicine for 6 years. We all ended up 9 years, 10 years,
Yeah.
without failing. 9 years, 10 years or more.
Yeah.
Government strikes.
All those
Lecturers
delays.
toy-toying.
Yeah.
Now, not the students toy-toying.
Yeah.
Lecturers toy-toying.
Yeah.
So I remember our third year medical school ended up being about 22 months.
Oh,
If you understand
that's
what I
almost
mean.
2 years. Yeah.
Then we went to fourth year, and then fourth year medical school, I started saying to myself,
This is
this
taking
banking,
long.
the banking boys were oppressed. They were doing their 3-year courses in economics,
Yeah.
coming out, going to banking.
Chow money.
Then they bought what we used to call baby boy back in the days.
Yeah.
The baby boy was the Toyota Camry.
Oh,
Because
okay.
Tyrese drove it
Oh,
in his
on
baby,
Baby
boy,
Boy.
movie.
Oh, okay. Nah,
So,
dope.
so my younger brothers started driving cars and terrorizing me. It was not
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
But when they started coming to my medical school and taking my classmates out,
And you can't say anything because when you are doing
I'm still a common medical student.
you're doing an unending course.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I started exploring, and my initial attempt to leave was Ghana.
Okay.
I went to a university called Lengao University.
Is it in Accra?
In Accra, it's in Accra City itself.
Yeah.
You will be shocked that we belong to the same ECOWAS, Nigeria, Ghana, a couple of West African countries.
Yeah.
I was being told that they'll accept me in my class in medical school,
Yeah.
but I had to pay $8,000 a year
Yeah.
because I'm a foreigner.
Okay.
Accra from my father's house
Yeah.
is similar to Johannesburg to Bloemfontein.
But you have to pay that
3.5,
extra.
4 hours.
Yeah.
Now, never mind this. We travel across ECOWAS countries. We travel across, but that trip by road then would have taken you 18 hours
Yeah.
because you cross Benin, Togo, before you get to Ghana.
You're basically going through countries.
And every time you stop at a border, you paid through your nose. Not because you didn't have the legal documents.
No, because
It was
it's cold drink.
I'm happy you said
Yeah.
it. I'm happy you said it. So I planned to go to Ghana, and
Yeah.
it didn't work. And because I had I'd started school in England. Grade 1 to grade 5 was in England.
Yeah.
And my mom lived in England at the time. And I said to myself, I'm not going to be a mommy's boy. I want to be in Africa. So all my, every part of me wanted to still remain in Africa.
Yeah.
But my days in Nigeria had ended.
Yeah.
So
There was
when I
no
came to
headway.
Bloemfontein, it was as a result of frustration mixed with new beginnings. And then how did I end up at Bloemfontein?
Yeah.
I went to South African Airways office and they opened the brochure. Which city
Wow.
do you want to go to?
Okay.
And I looked right in the middle. There was one that had roses. This
I
one
like
with
this one.
flowers. I can say, now I can say in Sutu, Kikopa, this one. And I didn't know then. I said, this one with flowers.
And that
Which
was
city is this? And they said, no, that's Bloemfontein.
Yeah.
Can I go there? They're like, yes, but you have to stop over in Joburg and 1 hour flight from Joburg. 1 hour, I can do that.
It's not.
Because Lagos were used to 18 hours of traffic.
Yeah.
So 1 hour on a plane for me was nothing.
Yeah. And what would you say were some of the biggest challenges in transitioning, like in your early days?
How much time do we have?
Just the biggest, just the roughest.
First of all, because I was used to flying into England,
Yeah.
getting a holiday job, and being able to go back to Nigeria to offset a few things as a student. When I got to South Africa, I thought, same applies. I'm a black man. I'm willing to work. I'll get a job.
Yeah.
I mean, already within my first week here, I was already looking for a job as a waiter or something. And that thing, SADC country came. Are you from a SADC country? Dololo. Do you have a work permit?
Yes.
Dololo permit
Yeah.
to work
To work.
in Africa.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it. And then in the end, they said, no, unfortunately, you're a Nigerian. You need a work permit. You can't work on a visitor's permit.
Yeah.
That was my first frustration.
That's,
Because I want to chalete. I want no revenue.
yeah.
Survival is questioned. How will I survive?
Yeah.
I started thinking out of the box. So my journey, my crash landing to South Africa, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
I came in as a tourist. I came in hotel, city lodge. I stayed about a month. And I enjoyed it because it was prepaid from Nigeria. And I went back. I got a study permit and I came back for 3 years in practically about 2 or 3 months after the study permit was given. And in those 3 years, I ate humble pie. I had to learn to think on my feet. I learned we had a stigma as Nigerians.
I was about to get into
We were
that.
known for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And I had to segregate myself
Yeah.
from. So the first issue I had was self rediscovery in isolation. And immediately I had to now marry myself to new brothers and sisters that were willing to accept me.
Yeah.
And then every day for me was a walk-in interview. Everybody I met,
Everyone has that bit of suspicion.
it was a walk-in interview.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you? Why do you speak so much English? You don't sound Nigerian. I had to talk. Hey, why are you here to study? I had to talk. Hey, you understand? Every day was an interview.
So when you came this side, the intention was to finish your
Yes, they gave me an opportunity to finish medical microbiology in the University of Free State, and they didn't take me to first year. I started at second year.
Oh, okay.
So in 2 years I was done.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
the beautiful thing about your country.
Yeah.
Your education is on time. I will not toy. Everything was on
You
time.
will finish.
But in that time, I had already lost the flair for medicine and lost the flair for anything medical.
Yeah.
I was just frustrated.
Yeah.
I just wanted to start business.
Okay. So now business, has it been something that you've always wanted to do, or is it something that you discovered its passion like along the way as you are going through
Let's
your
just
journey?
say half and half.
Yeah.
Imagine a 14 to 15-year-old grade 10 South African
Yeah.
that has been exposed to working at a tavern, or that has been exposed to working at as a host at a shisanyama,
Yeah.
or at a guest house. Now imagine that tavern, shisanyama, or guest house belongs to your father. That was me. My father is a seasoned anesthetist. My mom is a seasoned pediatric midwife.
Oh, okay. Hence the medical.
Hence, they were forcing me. The knife was on my neck. Hey, you have to take over.
Yeah.
And they made a mistake. I keep telling them today.
Yeah.
They exposed me to learning how to make money by the time I was 15. I was a barman. I worked in a restaurant as a temp. I learned how to lay the beds in the guest houses that my father owned.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things business related. And Benin Republic wasn't too far from us.
Yeah.
Most Nigerians in the late 90s, early 2000s used to buy European cars from Benin
Yeah.
because they had a free trade zone.
Oh, okay.
So all the cars that the Europeans were, I call them European rejects.
Oh, yeah. They'll go to Benin.
Your Gushesh, and then my first car was a Gushesh.
Yeah.
So I got the opportunity to buy my first car from Benin.
Oh, okay.
Because you get these cars dumped in Benin, Cotonou to be precise, for maybe $400. Then they put a $200 on it. You could buy a Gushesh for $600. I bought my first Gushesh for $800
Yeah.
in 2001.
Yeah.
I was second year going on third year medical school.
That's about what, 80, 90
So
K?
it was $800.
Yeah.
316i 2-door,
Yeah.
which is a thing till today.
No, that's
Zanzibar.
that one's a legend.
And it was fresh. If I remember the plate number, FKJ146KJA was my first car.
Yeah.
Then I was studying, and then my younger brother, will come take the car and go to his varsity. He was a civil engineering student.
Okay.
He'll go shine with my car, leave me studying in the library, come back with women. So those were the things that I used to empower myself, and now I can use the word emancipate myself from poverty.
Yeah.
And started thinking of, if I want something, I can work hard for it. I can think of a strategy, make the money, get it. My father was in the Nigerian Navy.
Yeah.
He was a disciplinarian of note, despite the fact that he was a doctor. So 90s, 2000s, face caps, Dr. Martens, Timberlands, all of those things.
Yeah.
My father didn't care about those things. Work, I'll pay your school fees. That's all he cared about.
Yeah.
So we got spoilt by my mom from England, and then we got discipline and straightening from my father
your father,
at home.
yeah.
And I lived with my father.
And there's a book by Dr. DeMartini. I need to give you that. It's called The Breakthrough Experience. So as you're narrating that now, it's the same thing that he's saying as well, that you need to have that kind of balance.
Yes.
One parent has to be loving,
And that's how I'm
doting,
raising my
spoiling,
kids. Yes.
and then the other one has to be the strict one.
Disciplinarian, yeah.
Doesn't pay. Because he says if both of you are strict, it's not going to turn out well, and if both of you are soft, it's not going to turn out well.
With most of the reactions you have in life, you have a fight or flight.
Yeah.
You don't want your kids to have a fight response,
Yeah.
and at the same time, you don't want them to have a flight response.
Response. Yeah.
So you have to balance it.
just
So you understand? I've heard them a couple of
gossiping
times.
about you.
You know, his answer is no. Ask him for something else, or show him your grades.
Must bribe him.
You know, that time they said,
Yeah.
Daddy, can we wash your car? I know. What do you want?
Okay, so you now leave medicine.
So I didn't leave
Yeah.
medicine. I went into medical school already with a business mindset.
Okay.
I was already managing my father's guest house
Oh, we got real.
before going to medical school. This I'm
Yeah.
talking 15. I was grade 10, going on 11. I finished high school at grades at 16 because I never did sixth grade. I went from fifth grade. When I came back from England, they put me in seventh grade. And they only put me in seventh grade after fifth grade. I could have easily gone in fourth grade, but I was short. I was a very short guy.
Yeah.
So they were saying, no, he's not mature. So I had to
Yeah.
wait till I was 11 to go
Yeah.
to seventh grade. And then eventually when I got the mature, I was one of the shortest in class in seventh grade.
Yeah.
And I was one of the few guys that had a goatee and one of the tallest when I left in 12th grade.
Okay.
So my evolution as a man was in the background working for my father in high school.
Yeah.
Because high school in Nigeria, they consider high school grade 10, 11, and 12.
Oh, okay.
You have junior secondary, 7, 8,
Oh,
9.
those are your grade 7, 8,
Yeah,
9.
7, 8, 9. And senior secondary, we call it JSS and SSS. So
You're
10.
exposing your age now, but yeah.
Well, did I tell you how old I am today? Did I tell you how old I am today?
No, you are narrating.
Yeah. No, age is a beautiful thing, but it's a state of mind. So when I got to grade 10, what you call senior secondary school 1, I already knew how to drive. I was a designated driver for most of my friends. Unfortunately for me, and maybe this will be the first time I'll publicly say this, I'd been exposed to alcohol as well.
Oh, yeah. At an early age.
And by 14 going on 15, I could handle my alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it today, but
But it's
it
something
opened
that
doors for me then, because when my friends started learning to drink in their 17, 18 and they were crashing cars and dying,
you already
I was
experienced.
already experienced. I was a designated driver. Boys that had money will come call me to take them clubbing
Yeah.
when they steal their father's cars, because they'll be afraid that they'll crash their father's cars.
Yeah.
But because I was on board,
Yeah.
then they'll buy me clothes, they'll buy me anything I wanted as long as I drove them.
So being put in that position at such a young age, what would you say were some of the key takeaways that you feel they actually properly equipped you moving forward in life?
First of all, it planted a seed of what I'll call my destiny, which made me become more of a businessman than someone who wanted to pursue medicine. Unfortunately, God had guided my steps, guided and guarded my steps, that I'm still exposed to medicine. I'm still married to a doctor.
Yeah.
I've been exposed to medicine most of my life, but I've also done a lot of things business-wise.
Yeah.
Even in medical school, all my lecturers at some point came to me to ask, hey, I want to buy a car.
Yeah.
How much can I get this? At some point, all my classmates were getting their mobile phones through me. So when I came to South Africa in 2004, it was self-funded. It wasn't funded by my parents, because I already had exposure to making money that I could buy a plane ticket and fly internationally.
Yeah.
I came to this country when I was 26, 27, and thereabout, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And at that age, if you look at an average South African that age, he's still trying to type his CV. In Nigeria, an 18-year-old has a CV.
Yeah.
For the fear of, if I get a job and someone says, bring your CV,
Yeah.
they can provide. Here, a 23-year-old will still be asking you, what do I type on my CV? I worked HR as well and all of that in my business.
Now, would you say it's our education system, or is it ignorance? Or
No, it's
what
collective, but the bulk of it is because of the South African laid-back nature.
is it?
The Mlungus have helped you guys a lot. Infrastructure has been laid, schools have been put together. In South Africa, if you have a good support structure, someone says go to school and they pay your school fees, you can gain an education and you can come out and become successful without distraction.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, it's not a guarantee. In Nigeria, you can get a master's degree before you're 25 and still be jobless.
Is it now a population issue, or is it
Yes,
that?
it is a population
Yeah.
issue. I remember in 2004, before I came here, Dangote wanted a driver. Aliko Dangote, the richest black man in the world. He wanted a driver. They said there were about 24,000 CVs. I was laughing. But you know what killed me about that story? What killed me about that story was that PhDs from universities, your lecturers, were looking for the driving position.
Yeah.
Not your banker, not your driver, not your. Forget about the people that knew how. Your lecturers in university.
Like it's far more profitable working for him as a driver
Than to be a lecturer. You know how long it takes to have a PhD?
Yeah.
Exactly. So imagine a PhD candidate or PhD holder who's lectured in university, who's certifying children of Dangote wanting to drive for him.
Yeah.
So what motivates us up in West Africa is more of success based on monetary value,
Yeah.
not success based on actual achievements.
Yeah.
Your success based on monetary value, based on how many houses have I built, how many cars do I have, all of those things. That's what Nigeria considers you're successful.
Yeah.
In the Western world, if you've got a PhD, you'll be celebrated till the day you die.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, no. I can see the huge differences.
And there is
between
cultural
the two. Yeah.
norms and values, environmental factors, the revolution of the country, the process the country went through,
Yeah.
the people and the mindset that has been created by the people, then the infiltration of the westernization. Say, for instance, how much of hip hop influence had on Africa
Yeah,
decided in a way how we dress.
I was raised in hip hop.
I know this. I know this. So an average 2000, 2001, they're about the 2000s. You call them the 2000s.
Yeah.
If you try and play Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe to them, they don't understand. You understand? They don't understand. Play Bobby Brown to them, they don't understand. They understand what's current to them.
Yeah.
And this is how you know seasons have changed, times have moved on. The skinny jeans came in, skinny jeans are on their way out. Now people are wearing baggy things.
Yeah.
This baggy era, hey, bro, I don't know. I eventually bought one and I realized, how am I going to cope with wearing this thing to... You wear those things indoors. You can't wear it to a place that makes sense.
Music and fashion always goes 360. Like it comes and goes.
Yeah.
Like there will be a time when
Timeless.
skinny jeans come back
Timeless. People are dressing like they're 70s.
again. I mean, Dr. Martens were back again, 2 years back?
I know, they're still back.
Yeah.
And they've become more expensive now.
100%. Yeah, Nigeria or Nigerian.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
A lot has happened. A lot has been done by people of Nigerian origin, of which it doesn't paint a good light when it comes to somebody proclaiming that I am Nigerian. They already have. What are some of the biggest misconceptions besides the whole scamming thing and what? Or maybe what are some of the most ridiculous?
Let me give it a bit of background.
Yeah.
Our biggest exports at some point were the village boys. I'm not going to mention what part of the country they come from, but they're village boys that didn't grow up in the city, that immediately were able to get some money and fly out of the country. So when they went to wherever, their heavy accented lack of responsibility, lack of professionalism, lack of morals was exported with them to wherever they were going. That made it harder for some of us that we went through school, we went through a set system that the government had created for us. We went through norms and values, cultural norms and values that gave us that good morning, sir, good afternoon, sir, good evening, sir mentality. They didn't go through that. And whenever they got to any country, their first means of making chelete was more important to them than being recognized as someone of integrity.
With ethics and
With, no,
stuff.
I mean, I was in Bloemfontein. Let me give you, for instance, an instance. I was in Bloemfontein. This was now 2006, 2007. I met a Nigerian guy. There was a place we called Jazz Time. Then I used to go hang out at Jazz Time. The owner became my friend. He used to give me gigs to print T-shirts and all of them.
Yeah.
So I met this Nigerian guy. He says he's 2 weeks old in the country.
Yeah.
2 weeks old.
Where
Comes
in
in Bloemfontein.
Yeah.
Came from a certain part of Nigeria. Couldn't really relate. But one of the waitresses said to me, "This guy's Nigerian. He needs your help."
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm really a bit scared to speak to people I don't know, but let me speak to this guy. I spoke with him. We became friends. 3 months down the line, this guy already had a car. I was still a pedestrian.
And he came here after you.
I was final year then. I think I'd finished that. Okay, I was doing my project management at the time.
Yeah.
And I was already starting business in Bloom. He literally passed me on the road one of the days and said, my brother, let me offer you a lift. No, Kisha. Because now, what's the stigma? What's the stereotype? He probably had illegal substance in the car, and I didn't want to be part of it. How do you do that in 3 months?
Yeah, no, it's virtually impossible.
A bank manager cannot buy a car in 3 months.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Someone that comes from Nigeria with a visitor's permit.
Yeah.
I want a permanent residence. I want any 3 months. So that is where the stereotype started changing. The exports we had, where there was a mass migration of people wanting to leave the country.
Yeah.
Just to go to the other side, because the firstborn in the family went to Europe and he made it.
Yeah.
He probably made it in 7-8 years. The remaining 11 children in that house are thinking, all I need is a plane ticket and I'm out and I'll make it.
Yeah.
But when they get to the other side, the shame of going back home without making it makes it harder for them to take a plane ticket and go back.
Yeah.
Rather, they stay and fight.
Now, would you say, in as much as you've established yourself and you've achieved quite a lot,
I'm still establishing, bro.
you're still establishing. do you feel like at times that stigma still follows you? Or?
It does. That's why I say to you, I'm a walking interview.
Yeah.
Every time I have to, first of all, deal with the stereotype of who are you, why are you here, what are you doing? Yeah. Lately, it's become easier because of my affiliation to the lingua to understand how the Zulus, Ngunis, Swatis, Sutus, everybody around me thinks. So when I get into a room, I'm able to do a profile analysis to say this person will help me if my opening line is Jumela, if my opening line is Kitusa, those type of things. So you're already showing the person that I am interested in understanding who you are, but I need your help.
Yeah, I think that goes for me as well, because there are certain places that you go into and you can see that this one is an Afrikaner.
Now you talk about the Afrikaners.
So when you get there, when you say already you've like established.
I lived in Free State. Yeah. I lived in Bloemfontein. Remember, we had English lectures and Afrikaans lectures. Yeah. Most of my English lectures were half in Afrikaans. So we were toy-toying at some point to say, but what is going on here? It's supposed to be an English lecture. You understand? Ekfistani. You understand? So those were the things that I was immediately being exposed to. And today it's a blessing, because I remember going to one of the big banks one of the days and I was expecting a transaction from my mom to say, hey, old lady, I'm stuck. I just need help before my next trip to England, because what I used to do was take 2 months out in the school year to go work in England, come back and live here because I couldn't get work here. And I'll do that in December, January, the coldest months in Europe. I'll be in Europe. And then I'll risk going for a month or 6 weeks in June, July, which is summer as well. Because in England, if they see the sun, nobody wants to work. So when nobody's working, people like me will be able to do a piece job. And you'll be surprised how much money I would make in 2 months in England will pay my rent in Mzansi for a whole year. But
That's right.
why was an average Nigerian not thinking along those lines? Why did they resort to staying here
Yeah.
and doing all those things that damaged our reputation?
Yeah, no. Of which, to a certain extent, you can say it is irreparable.
Damage.
It's just you
But
as an
but I'll
individual.
tell you the
Yeah.
reason. I'll tell you the reason. The reason is an experience you don't have.
Yeah.
You can't give.
Yeah.
They never experienced the need to be educated.
Yeah.
They never experienced the need to have moral values.
Yeah.
All they knew was when you have money, you're respected.
Yeah.
And that's what they exported from Nigeria and imported into whichever country they went to.
And basically, that whole survival instinct,
Exactly.
that's
Some of us, as a Yoruba man,
Yeah.
I can't even call certain people by name
Yeah.
if they're 1 year older than me. I have cousins that I call them bra this, bra that.
Yeah.
They're 2 or 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
But a Nigerian culture, I can't call them by name.
It just comes down to.
And that already humbles you to say when you can't call someone without putting a prefix to their name, you respect that person.
Respect them. Yeah. And then, would you say now that that whole car import business was like your first proper? No, not proper, but like your first.
That was the first one I did outside of home.
Yeah.
My first business was running businesses side by side with my dad.
Okay.
So I successfully opened a bar, a sports bar, an extension of my father's bar, and I bought a pool table and created like a functional community center
Yeah.
for young boys like me in the age to be able to hang out, not be afraid that your parents are going to come drink the same beverage with you, and you can still bring your girlfriend and ask her for numbers. And so it became a popular meeting spot. So I capitalized. We called it the Annex Bar.
Yeah.
And till tomorrow, I think a generation of at least 10 years of people that passed through, some older than me, most older than me, and a few younger than me, remember Annex Bar as part of their childhood.
Yeah.
And this was inspired by a 15-year-old.
This is like Taifa joint. Now,
Yes.
because, yeah.
This was inspired by 15.
Shout out to Taifa.
Yeah, so that was my first
Yeah.
self, achievement. My father supported me, not 100%. He just said, no, start a bar. Then he was put on duty in Calabar in Nigeria. He was put on medical post in there. So 3 years he was there. So he will come home maybe every quarter.
Okay.
So before he comes home every quarter, I wanted to do something to make him happy.
Whoa. Okay.
And when he came and he saw the Annex Bar, he was just talking there, but you guys don't have security.
Yeah.
Then he gave us a naval, naval security guard with an AK-47. Then he put me in charge of the AK-47.
Yeah. Must look
To
up.
say, no, I must check it in every night from the guard, and when he resumes again the next day, I must give it to him. So that's another thing that my father took a gamble on, exposed me to firearms. I knew how to arm and disarm a 9mm by 16. Arm and disarm an AK-47 at 16. So imagine giving a 16-year-old such privileges, asking him to run the house. He had a private practice I was running. I was paying his staff. By 17, I was actually even going and looking for more businesses for the hospital.
Yeah.
You just need to wear a tie, my boy. Wear a tie. And because this JAB came out early, so it helped.
Yeah,
Some people didn't believe I was a 16-year-old. They already thought I was in my 20s.
Oh, okay.
So it helped. And I did get my father a few business deals.
Yeah.
But then what he didn't know, hey, can I say this? Well, the man is 74 now.
All right. Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
So the man is 74 now. We can say this. If he watches it, he won't.
Your pops.
He won't know. So he's 74. He just survived another heart attack, and we're thankful he's still here.
Must not stress the old man.
Yeah, but now he always counted his bottles of alcohol.
Yeah.
I have 12 Mgutus of Black Label. I have 6 Heineken. So no problem. I did that.
Yeah.
But I increased the stock
Oh, okay.
with my own challenge.
Yeah.
So where he had 12 Black Labels,
You added some.
I had 6 Black Labels.
Yeah, well-
Where he had 3 Heinekens, I had 1. So whenever we did sales, we'll sell 2 for him, 1 for me.
Yeah.
I was running my business within that business.
Speaking of which, I think I shared it with you that I want to do that youth in business in our in June.
Yes. And congratulations, by the way, on your awards. We haven't spoken since
Yeah. I
your
mean, award
awards.
winner, by the
Yes,
way,
yeah, but
the
good.
reigning
Yes,
champion.
yes,
So yeah,
yes.
I think, I think next week I'll bring my award so that they can see it. Um, what would be like this one advice you would like to give to young entrepreneurs today? Because I have a feeling, not even a feeling, it is a fact that they're actually facing hugely different challenges than we did when we were still young getting
I
into
agree.
business. Like I think it's way more
I
difficult
agree.
now
I agree.
than it was before. So, drawing from your experience, having started a business at that young age, like what would be some advice that you would like to impart?
First, the dependency on the parents is high, and it's worse because most South African homes are broken. So you have the mother figure being most of the time the only person that a grown man depends on. And how do you get a woman to give a young upcoming man advice?
Yeah,
So most of our brothers, younger brothers out there, need male presence and male advice in their lives. And it's one of the reasons why I've dedicated the rest of my life to giving back
yeah,
to the community and human capital investment, investing in people.
yeah,
We need to become more present fathers, present uncles, present brothers
yeah,
to the up and coming. When we start, by example, they automatically will have a mind shift to tilting towards wanting to do things better for
yeah,
themselves. And the advice I will give them is search your passion. Search anything that you think you're good at, plant a seed and grow it.
yeah,
If you wake up one day and you see that music sounds good, start listening to music. Don't think of being a DJ. Rather think of learning how to master an instrument.
oh yeah, yeah,
Don't cut and paste the previous generation to say Black Coffee has made it as a DJ, he's a multimillionaire.
yeah,
Rather, I like music. What instrument am I listening to? Saxophone. Let me master it.
yeah,
You know, am I good with people? Let me learn how to become a motivational speaker. Am I good with plants? Let me learn what it's like to go into farming.
yeah,
A lot of our brothers are misguided, and sisters as well are misguided because of that effect from home,
yeah,
which is basically nobody to become a mentor or nobody to become a coach. So now, the same advice I give to the young ones, the moment you discover you've got a passion, look for someone around you in your community that's good at whatever it is that you're doing.
yeah.
Hold on to them. Brakways, yeah, I know you talk well on radio. I want you to come talk to me about this. And do not be afraid. If any of them are listening to this, maybe years from now, maybe I might be gone and this place somewhere, I
No,
don't
we'll
know.
be going sometime.
Yeah, but let them know that grab onto that uncle, grab onto that brother, grab onto that sister, someone that you think is good at whatever it is. Don't be afraid. Ask that question.
Yeah.
I still ask questions. I'm quarter to a couple of decades now. I'm not going to tell you, but you understand.
Yeah.
And I still learn. I still ask. What's even funnier is I still now basically depend on the younger ones to tell me what's current, what's trending, how do we dress, and I still question them. This thing of not pulling your pants up, guys. You understand? Pull your pants up.
Yeah.
So let's not just let them try and do it themselves. We are also being called
Yeah.
to show them the way.
And I know you as someone who's very much spiritually grounded.
No,
So,
by His grace. Yeah.
because my whole thing is whether you believe in Christ, God, Allah, or Buddha, or whoever, I feel you do need to have a higher power that you look up to, because it doesn't make sense to me for you to think that everything that is happening is just happening.
No, it's not.
How important is being spiritually grounded in something, and how has it particularly helped guide you in your
No,
in your
I
journey?
like this question.
Yeah.
Let me first start by saying, stand for something, otherwise you fall for anything. Stand for something, otherwise you fall for anything. I would not lie to you. I was in darkness. I was in the wilderness when I got to this country. I got deluded by the fact that your sisters were readily available. I could have missed. I could have.
Problem.
In fact, I won't say I could have. I missed my way a couple of times. I found my way back, but there was a spiritual force that kept me coming back.
Yeah.
My grandmother is 96. She's going to be 97 this year. My mother is still alive. My mother is 74. And she's on her knees as well, permanently. And I believe their prayers, to some extent, has an impact on our lives. We are at the age now where we also need to be on our knees for our younger generation. And if your kids are not seeing you practice something, never mind you telling them to become Christians. If they are not seeing you practice something, they are not going to practice anything.
Yeah.
Our morning ritual, routine, the kids have their days where they pray when we go to school.
Yeah.
They know their Bible. They know their memory verses. I've even started them on journals now where they write twice or three times a week because handwritings are suffering with our children. They're too much on the tablets and everything. So I started making my kids write. I wrote like my grandfather. And I'll tell you, my writing is not like that of a doctor. I promise you.
Well,
Yeah, exactly. So I wrote like my grandfather. I wish he had taught me how to play the piano before he died. My father learned how to play the piano, but he was too busy growing his career.
Yeah.
He never taught us.
I think SK 2 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we just have too much to talk
I know there's plenty.
But, yeah.
There's plenty. There's plenty. That's why I said I came unprepared because I was just holding your hands.
Yeah.
But
So, two last things. The first one, drawing from your experiences, like your biggest lessons that you've learned and whatnot. There's somebody out there who's in a really, really dark place. They can't really find their way. What's like the one word you'd like to give to them?
whatever you do, know that you are alive for a reason and you are alive in season. There's a season for things to be dark and there's a season where things will change.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Tomorrow is promised to all of us. One way or the other, if you're waking up tomorrow, you know you're going to wake up tomorrow. The tide will change.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Do not end it. Let that be on God.
Yeah.
You continue it.
Okay. And then you are a man who's doing quite a lot of things. But what's one thing that, when you look into the future, that is really, really exciting for you? Could be retirement.
No, I already started
Yeah.
planning my retirement.
Yeah.
You don't wait for it to hit you. You start planning it. But
You don't wait for the
one of the things I'm excited about is making sure that my mentees
Yeah.
come back to me any of the days and say, you were part of this progress. I made it because of you. I already had a few success stories that I'm proud of. I can beat my chest proud that, look, my children, when they mention my name in South Africa, that they are my surname, certain people will smile at them to say, I knew your father. So I'm continuing that legacy. I want to continue to create that positivity, paying it forward, such that the people coming behind me, I'm only as good as my next success.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll continue to do.
Mr. Dayo Oladapo, thank you so much. Mr. Ekundayo.
And that Tem,
Yeah.
thank you,
you
sir.
so much for joining us today. It's an honor and a privilege. I've always wanted for us to have such a sit down. And I'm looking forward to the next one because I don't believe this is the last time.
I know you and I,
there's still so much to
we have projects. You
Yeah.
know, let's forget about this. We have projects. In my language, we say "Eshe pupo ko tokpe," meaning thank you very much. It's no need to thank me.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And shout out to you once again for joining us. And that wraps up episode 4, the Journey Within podcast with Kwezo Tembu, powered by Gayise Media. Yes, you can get them go Facebook. I haven't seen you go Instagram. There's Instagram as well. Twitter, I don't know, because Twitter is really. So yeah, you can check them out. Uncut merchandise, Icona, do hit me up as well. 2025. See on, man. And thank you so much for the support. Like and subscribe and share. It is the Journey Within podcast. Hopefully, you were inspired once again. Sibonga kakhulu. How do you say siyabonga in Yoruba?
Eshe pupo.
Eshe pupo.
Eshe
Yeah.
pupo.
Eshe pupo.
We give una thanks.
Yeah.
Una thank you, Biko.
Thank you so much, man. And that's a wrap. Shut up, Mister.
Sure, brother.
Thank you so much.
Nice
man.
one.
It was-
Nice one.